And we are live. Cool.
Hello,
Welcome
how are
back. You? Hello. Rich from PT Graduate interviewing Peter Bristow, somebody who I've had a couple of meetings with, but not know very well, but someone I really wanted to get on here and pick the brains of, because I guess the whole point is that, you know, it's about exposing the audience to all sorts of different walks of life in this industry. There are so many different pathways you can go down. I was talking to a colleague of mine who's in Bali the other day, and you know, she had a very traditional PT career, and then she's just gone off on a tangent and followed her heart, and you know, is now in Bali helping with retreats, that sort of thing. So, you know, there's so many different pathways you can go down. So it's great to get some real diversity from people out there. So thanks for your time, Peter. It's great to awesome. Connect on here. And
absolutely.
I guess, you know, let's start from the beginning. You know, tell us a little bit about yourself, and how you how your journey started in the industry and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, I guess I'll try and keep it, I guess, succinct, because it's an early start, and my father really got me into the gym, training for the school cross country when I was the last year of primary school. I think that's year 8 now. Wasn't that back then? So that's probably my birthplace. So we went to the gym a bit. Excuse me. And that was really, I guess, where I fell in love with the gym and training. Finished high school and then missed out on getting into physio, and I'm actually really glad of that. So I ended up Diploma of Fitness at AUT with Peter Mello and I want to say Hamish. I think Hamish someone was my tutors, and went from there. Started PTing. I did a 1 week placement, as you do at uni, and as a fitness instructor, and thought on day 2, I'm not cleaning equipment and toilets as a fitness instructor. I'm going to be a PT, because that's not what I want to do. So that was when I was like, right, why would I work for anyone else? And it went from there. 25 odd years later, wow, here I sit as a PT, absolutely, like, just feel blessed that I've ended up in this industry, because it's just amazing what we get to do, and to get to make some money out of it. And, you know, for some of us, some really good money to provide for our families is awesome. To fill in the gaps a little bit in between there, I've done face-to-face of one-on-one PT, I then moved into groups. What I mean by that is sort of 2 or 3 in a session, within a PT environment in the gym floor. I found that just brilliant for motivation during the session. There's that social interaction, better income for me, more ability to earn. I've done boot camps, which I love. I've just got back into doing those once a month as a boxing class. Also, then we lived in Sydney for 3 years, so I went from being a fully booked out trainer out west here to 3 weeks later we were living in Sydney, because it happened really fast, and had no clients. Literally, and had to build up from absolutely zero, no one knowing me, which was tough but really good, because 6 months later I was fully booked. And that gave me a lot of confidence that I do know my stuff. It's not just because I've been in a gym for 10 years that I'm fully booked. Did 3 years in Sydney, came back here, and then transitioned into online training or online health coaching as well, which is where my main focus is. Well, I say my main focus. I mean, I still do 2 days a week face-to-face PT in my private studio, just looking over the lawn there at home, which is amazing. And the online coaching has just been a revelation for me. And I can go into more detail about how that works later if you want. But that's where I sit now. So I work 3 days a week, 2 days with the boys. They're behind me now. With a bit of luck, they'll be nice and quiet. And 3 days a week I work. My wife's full time. But that I guess helps paint a picture of where I'm sitting today with my business.
Excellent. I appreciate that. That's great. What I guess the first thing that sort of springs to mind is the Sydney thing. What made you go there? If you were full on busy and things were going well?
Yeah, that was my wife's career. She works in media. She runs newsrooms. So that was an opportunity that came up for us, and we just looked at each other and thought, let's go. But daunting when it was, I went from fully booked business to I had boot camps and sort of 30 hours of PT a week, and like I didn't need a market. It was easy on one hand, right? And then to walk into a gym and know no one and have no clients and have to do what PTs do when you guys start.
Yeah.
You got to walk the floor. You got to go
Yeah.
say hi with a big smile and just talk to them about their goals.
Yeah.
And that's all I did. I mean, obviously I had 10 years of experience under my belt, but I literally
Sure.
was just approachable. I did a couple of boxing classes as well, which
Yep.
obviously helped people get to know me, break the ice.
Mm.
And then, yeah, it went from there.
Brilliant. That's the bit that I wanted to explore, perhaps, because the PT graduate's about helping people get in and stay in. And those first 2 years can be really tricky. And I think your experience in Sydney is a great one to talk to, because you had that 10 years prior, but you were putting yourself through the process that all new PTs have to go through to kind of build it, that hard, yakka of building a client base.
Yeah.
But you had all that experience behind you. So you've just mentioned, you're walking the floor, asking about their goals. Are there things that you can talk to there? Because that's really that's the essence of getting it from, starting to success, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think that if you had to have the perfect scenario, it'd be great to have a bit of money behind you. If you could, if it's possible, have some savings. So maybe you can live, they say 6 months if you're starting a business, but let's say at least 3 months where your business didn't have to earn any money.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect scenario. Obviously, that's not always possible. So in terms of tactics on the floor, you've got to sell yourself. You've got to believe in yourself. And when I say sell yourself, it's just about opening your mouth with a smile and being engaging, and just ask them, how's it going? And I think doing that with no expectations, because the situation there is they probably, it's a bit like when you go to Harvey Norman and you start talking to, the sales rep comes up to you, they want to sell you something, right? That's their job. So I think if you can enter into that conversation with genuine interest in that person, without expecting to go, oh, I'm actually doing a 3-pack sale, just do that and be prepared to walk away, and then chat to them the next day and the next day. Well, next time you see them, and then maybe, because you're going to know, you're going to start to get a sense for it, because they're going to be like, well, how does it work PTing with you? Like, they're going to ask some questions.
Yeah.
I think in the first instance, just be so open, because people are scared of us.
Yeah.
They think we've got it all together. They think we're these fitness demigods, and they are scared. They might be really nervous about even being in a gym. So just be really open and interested in them, and it will go from there. I think having some sales skills is vital, because we are salespeople, and the successful PTs are very good at that. That's obviously our whole conversation. Having some sort of sales skills that you can call on when the conversation does end up going there. And it may the first time, they may have just walked in there going, you know what, I think I need a PT. But by you saying, good to see you, how's your day going? What's your session like today? They'll soon be like, oh, it'll just go there. And then marketing. Like I learned early on that I was with under the guidance of another personal trainer when I was doing my one of my placements, who was an amazing trainer, like highly skilled trainer, who had, from what I could see, an okay bookings. Like he was okay. He wasn't that like chocker. Sort of the 15, 20 hours a week, which most PTs can get to, but then how do I get more than that? Because they can't pay the bills. And I just learned that it was marketing that he was lacking. He just didn't, and obviously with the advent of Facebook and all the social platforms, as well as your classic posters on the gym wall or community centers, you got to market yourself. You have to put yourself out there, and you have to consistently do it. And be in their face in a way that fits your ethos.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. You've covered a whole gambit there, which is really, really useful. Thank you.
I guess, sorry, the last piece, I guess, and you would understand what I'm talking about here, but I think the times when my business has had exponential growth is when I've had some accountability from a business coach. Like I spent recently, when I went online over an 18-month period, I probably spent $15,000 to $20,000 on coaching. But that investment, like I could count on my hand the number of like gold nuggets that I got from that. That even one or two of those has just been, you just learn so much, right? You're learning from someone that has, you're not going to take 5 years to make those mistakes.
Yeah.
You're going to be the PT you could be in 1 year instead of 10.
No,
No, you don't need to spend that much money either, by the way. That's just what I related to, and I ended up seeing because of the online. But you're having a business coach, someone you're accountable to. I think you need to pay for it. I think having a mate or someone that kind of knows business that you might catch up with once a month, and then they're busy. Yeah, it's not going to work. Have someone you're paying some sort of money to.
Yeah, I think you're right, because again, that just creates additional accountability, doesn't it?
You've got some skin in the game. You're going to do what they've asked.
Skin in the game. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talked about being, getting into that online space. You've been working in that online space well before COVID ever kicked in, which kind of converted almost every PT in the land to an online trainer, unless they really didn't want to.
Yeah.
What lessons have you learned along the way in terms of, obviously you still do the face-to-face as well, but transitioning into that online space and making your business more virtual?
Yeah. I'm going to get into that, but I just heard that I'm hungry in the background.
I heard that too.
So feel free to pause for a minute. I've got the food sitting there, or
will do.
One second.
No worries. And we are live again. Cool.
I think the kids are happy. So transition into online. So what I learned, is that what you want to know?
Yeah, I guess so. That transitioning, and we can explore after that.
Yeah, I think the biggest, if I had to pick one thing that I learned through being an online coach, because obviously you're not spending 30 to 60 minutes standing next to the person. I know we do more than count reps, but you're not in the gym floor doing that, right?
Yeah.
So what you end up doing is you end up spending that time going, so hey Rich, so you didn't get your 4 sessions, and what tell me about that.
Right.
And where that conversation goes can be anything from, I've got the wrong goal, I actually need to set 3 sessions, or I sit up late watching Netflix till 12. That's why I can't get up to my 5:40 alarm. So you actually delve into the lifestyle of people and you get into the nitty gritty. So simplistically, it's the other stuff that normally gets in the way of our exercise. And sometimes that can be really full-on stuff, or sometimes they're just a bit slack and they do need to turn the TV off, because it's pretty easy to slip into next episode. So what I learned was that there's a lot, you can have a huge impact by simply having those conversations. So you move into coaching, life coaching, lifestyle coaching, because I look at things like their sleep habits, their relationships in their life, not necessarily marriage, like there's boundaries obviously, but what I'm saying is there might be a toxic work environment that's creating all of the stress that just means they're just drained every time their alarm goes off. So they can't exercise, they can hardly want to go to work. So even social media use, like there's all these other areas that we look at for when we talk about holistic health. So that's where you end up doing a lot of work. Obviously, they get what you'd expect. I prescribe a program. We have nutrition, which, discussions. And those are the 2 basics, right? But then there's so much more so many more pieces of the puzzle. So what I discovered is that we had time and space to talk about those, because as PTs know, sometimes a 45-minute session can actually be 20 minutes of exercise, because they've just got all this stuff going on. So what I then did with my face-to-face clients is I ended up offering them, I call hybrid, if you like, where we would actually factor in once a week, once a month, whatever they needed, a coaching session. Which means when we're in the gym, we train 95% of the time. Obviously, if there's stuff they just need to get out, then there you go. But it's like we've actually created space to talk about all the other things and why the sessions aren't quite happening, and all of that, and help them with their weekly plan, and bookmarking their day with a really solid evening routine or morning routine, which sets them up right for the next day. So that was the discovery, to try and bring it back to a point, is that I believe as a health coach, a PT, is vital that you spend time, imperative that you spend time working on that area with your clients as well. Not just trying to, a client said it once, not just trying to crowbar 5 sessions a weekend. because everyone will come to you probably expecting they'll say 4 or 5, and they can probably do 2 to 3. And getting them to understand also that that's okay. But that's a 5-minute conversation sometimes to free their mind from the burden of, I'm supposed to do 5 days, aren't I? Like, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Like, well, no. Well, that's awesome. But you need space to talk about that. Just need space to talk about that.
Okay.
I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, I think so. So it sounds very much like the online time is spent in that coaching role as opposed to exercising. They're very much they've obviously got a plan and they get on with the exercise themselves.
Yes.
And then they're accountable to you as to whether they've actually done it or not.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one client who I do an online session with, and she actually, that's extra. She's like, I want you to train me in her home gym. So we set up a camera and we do that, and she's Melbourne based. But no, I've done very little of that. I guess classic, I now can't see you face to face because of COVID. Let's do these sessions. I mean, I did some in the first lockdown last year. And I offered them in the other ones too. But no, it's very much around the health coaching side of things. And honestly, for some people, it works a lot better. It's really good. They're motivated enough to get to the gym, but it's just about those other, I call them the 1%ers. They're getting to bed half an hour earlier, 7 days a week, or let's say 5 days a week, and it's 2.5 hours more sleep. They do that for a month. They're like,
that's huge.
Oh, I feel amazing.
Yes. Cool. So, in terms of the online exercise space, I know you've got. I was looking through your, I think it was your Facebook page, and there's a lot of stuff on there. You know, you've created workouts, you've sort of templated it up so they can see what the plan is. Is that stuff for everybody, or is that stuff is that a marketing tool? Where does that sit in terms of what you're doing it for?
So where you see it on social is I guess it's about. I mean, my ethos is that. Is that give everything away, like give all your best information away, everything, because then you have an impact regardless of any money changing hands, which I think is, pay it forward, because there's also going to be a percentage of the population that want to engage with you. So in terms of, I guess to answer your question, it's marketing, but also it's like, here's a workout, Rich, you like look of it, do it, great, here you go, the recipes, the workouts. And just on that too, what I'm a firm believer that there's people out there that will only ever hear what Richard's saying, or what that you're the trainer for them, and then I'm the trainer for and then the next person, Nikki, Kirsten, there's people that need to hear the way that Kirsten is going to phrase something.
Yes.
And therefore, be loud. And get out there, and I guess so it's marketing, and then my face-to-face client, my clients that are pay me some money, I use Trainerize as the app where I build their programs, and I just think it's a great tool because the videos are very descriptive.
Okay. I haven't actually used it myself, so I'm not familiar with it, but it seems like a very sophisticated platform, and one where people will be able to just tick off the exercises and do it correctly. I presume there's some good technique.
They're very good. They're quite boring, but it's because they're good. They're they're great. I think it's a great tool. Yes, buddy. Okay. I'll sort this little man out.
Cool. Okay.
Take 3.
Take 3. We're going well. This is just the reality of life. It's good for people to see. So that's so Trainerize. Trainerize, boring but good.
Very effective.
Keeps people on track, which is another useful tool. But you said you also do the face-to-face thing, and that's in Cumia. You're in Cumia.
Yes.
Yeah. ShedX, is that right?
ShedX, that's me. Yeah.
I don't know it. I mean, I know the name, but I don't know the place. I mean, it's obviously good for the locals and.
Yeah, I mean that's the birthplace of ShedX. I mean, it was where I trained. We live on an old orchard, so it's an old packing shed. So it used to be a very rustic shed with my barbells in the corner and a pull-up bar on the wall. And then obviously the first lockdown, when we came out of that, I didn't want to go back to the gym because I knew I could control the hygiene here. So I made it slightly a bit nicer, but I only had a portaloo. And then basically said to my clients, hey guys, I'm going to work out here because I know who's touched the bars, and I know that they've been wiped down between every single. Sorry about this.
It's all right.
1 minute. Pause.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Okay, set change.
Set change. Yeah.
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 Shed
So
X.
yeah, so ShedX here out in Kumu. I started after the first lockdown to control hygiene,
Yeah.
and then about 10 days in, I remember going back into the house to my wife and just said, "I'm not going back to the gym. This is awesome. This,
Yeah.
you know, for the time of life that we're in with
Mm.
3 young children,
Mm.
as you can tell, with all these pauses and
Yeah,
food
that's all
breaks,
good.
um, and I just love that it's obviously my own space." And we've adapted it a lot, we've changed it a lot over the last 10 months since we opened.
Yeah.
A couple of other trainers now work out of here.
Okay.
Looking to have the space for more if anyone's Westie that wants to work in a boutique space.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is a different environment. So we don't have mirrors. It's boutique. It's not for everyone. It's definitely not a gym, but we've got everything here to give anyone a real solid workout. So
Great stuff.
yeah, it's been amazing to have that, to create the space.
Do you think that would have happened anyway, but maybe at a later date? No,
I don't think it would have.
No.
My
Okay.
mother-in-law could see it when we bought the property 5 years ago. She was like, turn that into a gym. But you know, well, the time of the life again, it was simple just to turn up to a gym and pay rent, and it was working.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it would have, to be honest, but now it's just been the best thing to create the space for locals that want something different. Because I mean, we've got 2 or 3 gyms in the area now on F45, and this is different again. Yeah, for people that want that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to have that little bit of privacy and you know, a bit of their own space that you know, it doesn't just have people roaming in and out of like a normal gym.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get that extra bit of treatment.
Yeah.
Exciting. It's obviously taking you in a different path and kind of, you feel like you're more in control, I imagine, you know, having.
Well, yeah, and then financially you're not paying rent. I mean, obviously I've had to spend a lot of money here to setting it up, but in the long run, it's money that's, I guess, going to, you know, assets that I have or you know,
Exactly.
Now, so that's cool. And like you say, just complete control over the environment. It's how I want it to be for the people that I want to be working with.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I think we're close to wrapping it up. I think maybe the last thing I've got on my notes here is sort of the future and, you know, what you see things. We kind of probably touched on that in terms of your space. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, what the future looks like for you in terms of the industry and where you're wanting things to go for you.
Yeah, I think that continuing to develop my online coaching, because I believe you can have, I believe I can personally have a far greater impact and generate more income. And I just want to sort of, I guess I'm shameless about the fact that I want to earn really good money out of this, out of the industry, because I believe that that's just, it's if you do that with your heart in the right place, if you generate a really, you know, a substantial income out of the industry with your heart in the right place, you are going to have a massive positive impact on the people that you come in contact with, because you're probably going to have an impact on more people. And if you're a business owner, PT, I think that that's a great goal. Like, you're there to, you know, earn some money. That's why we're here.
Exactly.
So I believe that, so building my online, I think I'll always still be on the tools in some way, shape or form, because I love being on the tools. Like, I've just started the boot camps again once a month. They run every week, but I just do one session because of 10 minutes. But I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, so I feel like I'll always be on the tools in some way, but definitely developing the online because of the impact that you can have. There's no boundaries, obviously. So that client that needs to hear my message can hear it, no matter where they are. And then continuing to develop what we have here at ShedX for locals. I'd love it to be a space at the moment where not 24/7, but where they can swipe in and do their own workouts. I'd love that for the people that want to. I'd love it to be a space where someone that wants to book it out. So I guess sitting between a gym and seeing a trainer. So maybe it's their private space they can book 3 times a week for 45 minutes, where only them and one friend will be in this, because there's a whole space themselves. I'd love to be able to offer that more boutique. So they're not paying for a PT, but they're paying a bit more than a gym, but it's their studio that they're renting. So I'd love to, that's what I would like to be able to offer. Here.
Smart.
And the other big transition for me over the last 4 or 5 years is moving away from, I used to be weight loss focused. Like that used to be, because let's be honest, most people come in wanting to lose weight. So my big drive is moving towards, well, I've already transitioned, but speaking more about, because weight's only one element of obviously health. I mean, you know what I mean. So really making sure that people understand that doesn't determine their health or their success as a number on a scales. It could be an hour conversation, but I don't mind it being in the mix. I'm not anti it, but I don't want it to be the be all and end all. So for example, 99% of my clients, I don't weigh them, I don't measure them. We really look at their movement, how they're feeling, and that's why I have a lot of detail. One of my pre-screens is about 70 questions, and that's their lifestyle. I call their bio tracker questionnaire. So that is their sleep, their, how do they feel when they first wake up? Like, how do they feel about life? Like they feel like they're pretty happy, or on a continuum, like where are they sitting? So that is something I'm hugely passionate about, because I believe that most people put a lot of their success on what the number shows on the scales, which I believe I used to do it. I used to be part of that 8-week challenge, but it's just flawed in my opinion. So really, it's about looking at the big picture. So that's really, I want to keep shouting that louder and louder, because a lot of the people that come and see me, you feel they literally shoulders drop. They're like, "Oh, I'm so glad that we're not going to weigh me," because
it's a relief.
That's what I've done for the last 10 years. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. Clearly, there's some that you need to monitor that, because there is all those situations. There's not one for everyone, but definitely moving away from that. Because if people just take care of themselves and they move their bodies and sleep better and all of those things that are good for our health, the weight's going to shift anyway.
Becomes a byproduct of all those other good things. Those 1%ers you talked about.
Absolutely.
I like it. It's a much more holistic approach, and it's a much more real approach, isn't it? Because the scales and the social media and the mainstream focus is always about what we look like and what the scales say, and that's it. And there's so much more to it. And I think if more of us are doing what you're suggesting, that's going to help us steer away from that mentality, I think, which is great.
And I would encourage, this is again my personal opinion, and I would encourage any new trainer to really be mindful of how they use their social media. And if they do have a six-pack or a bikini body, I'm not going to say don't use it, because that doesn't work, telling people what to do. I'm just going to say, is that health? Is that health, that look? And is that really going to help your clients? And again, I was that trainer that did that stuff. So I've been there. There's clickbait, but if you really want to have a true long-term impact, just question. I'm just going to say question that.
Absolutely. I think that's a great point to end on. I think, we only know what we know on our own journeys, don't we? Right. So, the way we learn, what we deliver evolves as we evolve. And there's nothing wrong with that model, but there are elements to it which are broken, and I think people need to open up their minds to other ways of doing things, so that they give their clients the best opportunity.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
And I guess the other, is just as a new trainer getting started, is ask for help and seek the help. There's awesome help out there. And I'm fortunate in the area that I'm in with all the amazing trainers. That I work within 5Ks of this area is some amazing trainers, and we all work together. We do collabs. We go out to the Bethels Lakes. We get all our clients together. I've referred clients to Kirsten, to Nikki, to Megan, vice versa, because that's the trainer that's going to service that client better. And
you know, if you can pick some brains of some good trainers, you're going to save yourself a lot of heartache. There's plenty of work out there for everyone.
Exactly, there is, and that's the way it should work, isn't it? You know, whole abundance mentality. You know, because you know, what goes around comes around. So
Totally.
yeah, it's the way to go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's been great chatting, Peter. I've really enjoyed it, and I really appreciate your time. And I know it's a juggle sometimes, but that's the way it is, isn't it? With kids and family,
it is.
That's kind of part of the whole work life thing, where you've got, you know, space on your own property, and you've got clients coming to see you, and it gives you the ability to immediately switch off, and there's the family. So that can be a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's been great.
Cool. Thanks, Peter. Catch you soon.
Yeah, cheers. See you.
Yeah, bye.